here. My name is Kat and I make houseplant videos here on Good and Planty. As some of you might know, I've been trying to improve my rooftop garden situation this year. So far things have been going really well, but I was definitely missing a few random little bushy fruity kind of plants, so our good friends at LOGEE'S went ahead and sent me some awesome plants. We are going to repot them today. LOGEE'S is very well known in the plant community. They offer quality, rare, tropical, and fruiting plants. Most of the plants I have today are fruiting or meant to be outdoors. They came packaged very well, in great condition. I messed up and I took too long to film this video, so two of the plants are semi-deceased. We're gonna see if we can save them. But that is truly a reflection on me and not on LOGEE'S at all. For context, I live in Philly, which is zone 7, and I asked for very hardy perennial plants that can do well in full sun and hopefully come back for future years. That is of interest to you. I have a few great rooftop patio plant examples for today. Okay, the first plant I wanted to start off with is this. Hold on, I'm gonna read the tag. I don't have these all memorized. Morris nigra, and it is a mulberry plant. It's in very good condition still, even though I completely neglected these poor little plants. The mulberry fruit ripens over an extended period from early July to September, so it is not in its fruiting period yet. So we do have plenty of time to kind of repot her and get her acclimated before that starts to happen. And good news for me, this is one of the hardiest fruiting plants that I can have, or at least that LOGEE'S offers, which is exactly what I need up here. I am using Miracle-Gro soil, which, full transparency, is not my first choice by any means. I just have a lot of extra Miracle-Gro from trying to fill up my container beds to the side of me here. We are just gonna use it until we run out, basically, but it is not my first pick, so please don't judge me for it. And I am going with, for most of these, much larger containers than what I'm starting with, and indoors I would be yelling and screaming and telling you to not do this by any means because you are promoting root rot and all of that stuff. But outside, these roots grow so fast, and I'm not saying that this is the perfect jump by any means, but it is so much safer to do that outside because A, like I said, the roots are going to grow a lot faster, and B, plants tend to dry out a lot quicker outside, so that excess soil is honestly going to help me maintain moisture, and I definitely need that because I don't have a hose up here, so my plants do tend to dry out in the full sun, unfortunately. This mulberry plant is good for being semi-drought tolerant, but don't let it wilt too much. I am actually, this is the perfect point to water it. The leaves are soft and the soil is dry, but we are not totally pushing it to wilt mode. So I'm very happy with at least where that plant is. I'm gonna show you some really sad looking plants in a minute. Break that up, get her out of here. We do have a decent root system. This soil isn't, it's a little bit compacted, and I just want to break it up, make sure the roots get out of there. So I'm going to gently massage it. There we go. Make a little hole in here, pot her in, and now I'm just going to backfill a little bit. Give her a little pat. There we go. I didn't fill it all the way up to the top because this is quite a big pot for her root size, and I can always add in more soil after, but I think she looks pretty good for now, and maybe eventually I can get her a cash po too. But okay, first plant down. They're all gonna get a very thorough soak after we're done, I promise. Okay, next up we have one of the dead plants that are totally my fault. I went way over a week without watering her and she was just not happy with it. Totally understandable. But this plant is the Clematis Taega, And she is a flowering plant. She wants a trellis, and the blooms are very, very beautiful. So I am quite upset that she's not doing well because I was very excited to see her grow. I am kind of doing a Hail Mary here, and I am gonna pot her up, water her, and just see if anything can possibly come from this plant. I feel bad throwing her away, so I just want to kind of see what we can do, what magic she can perform. So that's what we're doing with her. These plants bloom summer to fall. Again, it's very fun. I love a longer blooming season. Oops. And I can even see like the tiniest bit of bloom starting to happen on this pretty dead plant, and I'm very, very sad that I sort of broke the whole blooming process. So we'll see if I can get anything out of this plant. I hope I can. The blossoms on this plant come from both old and new wood, so it is recommended for you to prune it in early spring just before the new growth starts so that you can really maximize your flowers and growth and all that stuff. I would love to experience that as long as this plant actually comes back, but we'll see. Right now it's looking kind of pathetic, but I don't want to give up on her, so we'll see what happens. I've seen bigger plant miracles, to be honest with you. We did repot a basically dead plant because we are fully committed here on Good and Planty, and it is what it is. So fingers crossed, please, thoughts and prayers in the comments, and we'll see what happens. I'll keep you updated. Maybe on Instagram if I'm too embarrassed to do it on YouTube. Okay, the next plant we have was a bit of a surprise. I wasn't expecting this one. It is the, hold on, the Supervivum arachnoideum, and it's also known as Hens and Chicks, and this variety is the coral red one. When it gets very strong full sun, it will become this gorgeous red color. When it is in lower light, like it was for a while, and since I got her, it'll have this green color. I was excited that they sent me a little succulent that I could experiment with out here. This is a plant that I'm absolutely gonna bring in for the winter time. Whoa. If I were to leave her outside in Philly, she would just die, no questions asked. So I will not risk it, and my entire cacti and succulent collection does come inside for, I would say, like starting in September maybe. This came to me in like a 2.5 inch. I'm bumping it all the way up to a 6 inch. I'm feeling wild. And normally I would also add a bit more amendments to this soil. I would add some more perlite or something like that, but I am not being perfect today by any means. Outside, again, it gets really hot, so I stress less about amendments in the soil when I'm potting outside. The only thing I'll note is if you do live in an environment similar to mine, is that you have no control over the rain. So if it is raining a lot and it's not in a super well draining soil, definitely bring the plant inside during all of the rain, because it could definitely get overhydrated and the leaves will burst, the roots will rot. So try to avoid that and keep an eye on the weather if you can. Okay, this repot is not looking pretty, but the heart is there. I say that as there's like literal rain clouds over me, so I'm just hoping we can finish up this video in one piece. Another plant down. Okay, next up we're gonna do one of my favorites. I'm very excited about this plant. I think it's gonna be so much fun in my rooftop, and that is this Vaccinium angustifolium, and it is a blueberry plant, and it is the top hat variety, and I am putting her in this little white plastic pot that does have drainage, so there you go. I'm kind of like over this like scooping situation, so I'm gonna try to pour. So much soil just went down my arm. Okay, I'm not doing that again, that was horrible. Okay, so this blueberry plant enjoys full sun, as with most of these plants. does prefer to be evenly, consistently moist. I think that will work well with this Miracle-Gro, believe it or not, and also in this pot. This is a container grown fruit similar to the mulberry plant. If you're looking for some nice easy fruits to grow on your rooftop, your patio, your backyard, and you don't have ground to do that in, this is a great option for you. On this plant, white blossoms will start to appear around springtime, and then later into the summer you're going to get a lot of fruit. I would say like midsummer is when the blueberries start to kick in. Based on my research, obviously I am new to all of these plants, but I read a lot about them. And what makes the top hat variety unique and special is that it is a dwarf plant, so it's literally designed to be a bit more compact and suitable for spaces like rooftops, for example. There's something about blueberry plants that are very nostalgic for me, and I'm just excited to have one in my rooftop, and hopefully I have an abundance of blueberries. Maybe if I'm feeling like very cottage core or something, I can make jam. I think that would be kind of fun. Yay! Okay, look at her. This is awesome. She's all done. And I am, side note, keeping the stakes that came with the plants in there for now. I will probably end up getting rid of most of them. The only one that I know specifically needs arbor or stake support is this, what is it? Clematis plant. So the other ones might just come out, but I kind of want to leave them be for now. Okay, and the last plant that we are doing today is this one, and it is an ornamental oregano, and this variety is Kirigami. Oh my god, it smells so good. It smells just like oregano, but since it's ornamental, I'm assuming I can't eat it. Let's see. I just want to like finish this bag. With this plant, I could have probably gone with a larger pot size, but they don't grow all that big. I think it's like 8 to 10 inches big, so I'm not too stressed about it, to be honest. This plant does attract pollinators, which is always really exciting to me. I do love trying to be mindful of that when I'm planting up here. It just does get a little stressful once the bees actually do come, but I guess that's a price I'm willing to pay. This one also does have a bit of a trailing growth pattern, but I think that it doesn't need a stake from what I remember. I think this one just can get a little bit more bushier and grow out long ways into a pot. So honestly, by the time summer ends, I might have to bump this up a size. I just don't have anything super suitable for it right now. The exciting part of this plant is that because it's an ornamental oregano, you can dry the foliage and it looks really good in floral arrangements and stuff like that. It is a very useful plant even if you are not eating it. Also, a fun fact I learned about this plant, and I found this on the LOGEE'S website. I'm gonna read it off my notes so I don't mix it up, but higher day temperatures and cooler nights accentuate the delicate colors of this plant. So there is a bit of like a purpley shade that can come through. I don't have it present right now because I've not been taking optimal care of these plants yet. The pictures of it are stunning, so if you are able to kind of have a bit of control over that, or you live in an area that lends itself to that sort of environment, you can get some really pretty colors out of this plant, especially if you're going to be using them for arrangements. Okay, and this last plant is all done. I am so happy that I got to finally pot up these plants today. A huge thank you to LOGEE'S for sending me these plants. If you want to check them out, they will be linked in my description box down below. This video is not sponsored by them, but they did gift me those plants. So just full, oh my god, full transparency as always. Thank you all so much for watching and hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!